Right friends, welcome back to revision session. This is 26th session. 2-3 things I would like to tell you. Tomorrow, that is 27th session, will be the last one as far as live is concerned. So, tomorrow's session will be the last session as far as live is concerned. After that, 28th, 29th and 30th revision sessions as well as Q&A we will upload directly before Friday. So, please remember, today is 26th session, tomorrow 27th, these 2 days Monday and Tuesday we will go live, and after that before Friday we will try to upload 28th, 29th and 30th directly without live. And another important point is, today I have taken the issues, remaining issues of S&T, whatever I could not cover till date. At the same time, some of the health related issues and minority schemes. These 3 things are taken today in revision as well as Q&A, and this broadly completes these things: minority schemes, S&T, then health related, and what is left over, defense related compilation. At the same time, some of the art and culture, which I am not sure how much I am able to cover, and at the same time river systems in geography. Like that, some of the issues are left over, and those things I will cover from 27, 28, 29, 30, and Q&A will be mixed from tomorrow onwards as usual. So, 30 sessions we will complete by 30th, both revision as well as Q&A. And here today's class is S&T, health related issues and minority schemes, whichever I could not cover till date. The first one is anti-rabies drug. This Pune based Serum Institute of India and Mass Biologics, this is of the University of Massachusetts Medical School, they jointly developed this rabies vaccine, this rabies drug. This is rabies human monoclonal antibody or RMAB. Here 2 things which you should know. The first thing is with regard to what is the meaning of recombinant DNA technology. Recombinant DNA technology is it joins fragments of 2 DNAs of different species. So, this is recombinant, that means it is constructed from the segments of 2 or more different DNA molecules and enter a cell and replicate there either on its own or after it has been integrated into a chromosome. So, this is about DNA technology, and at present there are 2 types of drugs. What are the drawbacks of these 2 drugs? Now, the new drug is developed, as we have just now learnt. This is human monoclonal antibody and existing drugs. What are the drawbacks of existing drug? At present, the drug is derived from human blood, HRIG. This is the present drug which is derived from human blood. There are 2 problems. One is it is often not available in countries like India. Second important point is it is leading to blood-borne infections because it is derived from blood. That is one problem. And the present drug which is developed is 25% cheaper. At the same time, there is another drug which is derived from horse derived equine rabies immunoglobulin, or you can say immunoglobulin, or you can say ERIG. But the problem with this is it has got several side effects. So, the new drug is assumed significance because of the drawbacks in these 2 drugs, and the new drug is human IgG1 monoclonal antibody, and that specifically binds to a conformational epitope of G glycoprotein of rabies virus, right. So, 2-3 important aspects you learn, and you can leave this topic here. And ISRO develops a solar calculator Android app. It is for the computation of solar energy potential. What is the solar energy potential? Monthly or yearly solar potential, what is the minimum temperature, what is the maximum temperature, and it also suggests optimum tilt angle for solar photovoltaic installation? What should be the tilt angle for photovoltaic installation depending on the place, and at the same time it also gives monthly and yearly solar potential using Indian geostationary satellite data. At the same time it also displays the location of the satellite, and it provides elevation angles as well as day length over different time periods in a year. So, this is developed by ISRO. ISRO's another thing is this indigenously developed telemetry and telecommand processor. This is indigenously developed by ISRO. Previously we used to import this, and now this TTCP, that is telemetry and telecommand processor, is indigenously developed by ISRO. And what is the purpose of this? It is used in integrated spacecraft testing of low Earth orbit, geostationary orbit and interplanetary space orbit also, right. Then if you go ahead, 5 new subatomic particles were found. These subatomic particles were found using the world's largest and most powerful particle accelerator, and this LHCb experiment, this Large Hadron Collider, you can say this is one of the 7 particle physics detection experiments conducted on Large Hadron Collider accelerator at the CERN, right. So, the new particles are found to be in excited state, and you may have a doubt for what purpose these are discovered. The discovery will contribute to understanding the 3 constituent quarks that are bound inside a baryon, right. If you go further, the numbers are given like this, these subatomic particles, and the numbers indicate their masses in mega electron volts as measured by LHCb experiment. So, the numbers I have given here, the numbers indicate their masses of these subatomic particles in mega electron volts. And what should be the next step? The next step is determination of the quantum numbers of these new particles. So, the characteristic numbers used to identify the properties of specific particle. So, now the quantum numbers are to be determined, the masses have already been determined. So, this is about 5 new subatomic particles. Silica aerogel, this Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, this is Thiruvananthapuram based, indigenously manufactured, the world's lightest synthetic material, which is 99% air, and it is known as silica aerogel or blue air or frozen smoke. It is the lightest synthetic material ever made by the man, and the beauty of this is it has got excellent thermal resistance. Because of its excellent thermal resistance, if this is used at the Siachen soldiers, for the Siachen soldiers, then they can be protected against adverse climatic conditions, and at the same time when this is provided for the windows, then thermal insulation can be improved, or you can say if you want to maintain specific inside temperatures, then for the windows this can be used. So, this material can be used both on space and on earth. Scientists can use it to insulate rocket engines. It consists of 99% air, and if painted on windows, it can keep buildings cool or warm. It is likely to be used on moon rover in Chandrayaan 2 mission. Then third higher supersonic wind tunnel. This is the third higher in the world after 2 countries. Please recollect those 2 countries, I have forgotten. So, this is the third higher hypersonic wind tunnel. Hypersonic is normally when the Mach number is greater than 5. So, this hypersonic, you may have a doubt. So, what is the purpose of this hypersonic wind tunnel? This is simulation, or you can say for testing of aerodynamic characterization. So, this is designed by VSSC Thiruvananthapuram indigenously third largest in size and simulation capability in the world, and this is used for wind tunnel testing for aerodynamic characterization, and it involved intricate engineering, massive fabrication, super precision machining, and all these things are executed by ISRO scientists, and it is designed to generate hypersonic flow conditions. As I have already told you, hypersonic is more than 5 Mach number. So, it is designed to artificially create hypersonic flow field in the working section, so that it will simulate the typical flow features of this flow regime. So, this is all about third higher hypersonic. Green clearance for neutrino project suspended. I taken up this issue previously also, I asked in the questions also, but whatever the points I have written, they are very important from examination perspective. That is why I have taken once again this. So, this Southern Bench of National Green Tribunal suspended environmental clearance granted to India based neutrino observatory, and where it is expected to come up? It is expected to come up in Bodhi Hills. It is 1 kilometer from interstate border of Tamil Nadu and Kerala. 4.9 kilometers from Mathikettan Shola National Park in Idukki district of Kerala. The ministry called it a category B project, but under the guidelines, any project that falls within 5 kilometers from interstate boundary or within national park or within wildlife sanctuary, that means 5 kilometers, it has to be considered as category A project, right? And that involves number of processes before environment clearance is granted. And another important aspect is, as it is nearer to a national park, it has to get clearance from National Board for Wildlife also. So, these things from examination perspective, do not forget. IUPAC, this announced IUPAC is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. It is the group of professionals, and I am not going into the details of IUPAC, but what is important is it announced the names of 4 elements 113, 115, 117, 118. The names I have given here. Here they are named after either geographical region or a scientist or a place. Here Nihonium. Nihonium is one of the 2 ways, that means Nihon. Nihon is one of the 2 ways to say Japan in Japanese, which literally mean the land of the rising sun. Then of course Moscovium, that is to recognize Moscow region of Russia, and Tennessee, that is to recognize the place in United States of America. So, these 2, that is Moscovium and Tennessee, are to recognize the places, and the 4th one is very important. The 4th one is Oganesson. Oganesson recognizes Professor Yuri Oganessian for his pioneering contributions, and this Oganesson is named after the living scientist. This is only the 2nd time in the history when this element is named after a living scientist. That is very important, right? Please go through this. This 118, 117, then 115 and 113. So, these are the 7th row elements. Then the exploration of new elements beyond the 7th row of the periodic table is also continuing. In fact, IUPAC and IUPAP established a working group. World's most heat resistant materials, researchers discovered tantalum carbide and hafnium carbide, which can withstand temperatures nearer to 4000 degrees centigrade. These are refractory ceramics, extraordinarily resistant to heat, so they can be used in thermal protection systems in high speed vehicles. Here most important aspect, when the heat resistant materials are found, then 2 important things, please do not forget. They can be used as fuel cladding in nuclear reactors, where the temperatures produced will be very high. Then second point is in the hypersonic vehicles, where because of friction lot of heat is generated. So, in the supersonic or you can say hypersonic vehicles, this heat resistant materials assumed a lot of significance, right. So, these two researchers in UK discovered these two, tantalum carbide and hafnium carbide. SYNLIGHT experiment, last week we discussed about solar thermal project of Israel. Israel's solar thermal project Ashalim we discussed, and this SYNLIGHT experiment is something different. What is the purpose of solar thermal? Solar thermal is producing steam and subsequently turning the turbines and generating electricity. So, conversion of solar into thermal, so that is solar thermal. Now, this is something different. Here the situation is scientists in German Aerospace Center have developed lights, film projector lights, and they produced a glare. What is the glare? 10,000 times the intensity of natural sunlight on earth. In comparison to the natural sunlight on earth, they produced the intensity of 10,000 times intensity. And why? They have developed this with a intention to generate temperatures of around 3000 degrees centigrade. And when this beam is focused at one point, it can generate 3000 degrees centigrade. It is much more than the heat generated in combustion processes. So, using this light source, the aim of the experiment ultimately is to separate, or you can say produce hydrogen fuel. So, please differentiate between Ashalim project and SYNLIGHT experiment. I have given the details here, please go through it. Rolling in of a Bell 2 experiment completed. This is High Energy Accelerator Research Organization completed the much awaited rolling in of Bell 2 experiment. It is the collaboration of 700 scientists from 23 countries. In fact, this fourth layer of 6-layer highly sensitive particle detector was built by Indian scientists with TIFR Mumbai, and this has got higher sensitivity, and here several scientists are associated. And here one important point is this experiment of Bell 2 experiment has the same aim as Large Hadron Collider of CERN, basically to study the decay of the short-lived mesons and unearth clues to the new physics. If these experiments are successful, it is a massive rethink is required on particle physics. And this Bell 2 experiment as well as CERN Large Hadron Collider experiments are complementary, please do not forget. Then genetically modified mosquitoes. This is to suppress wild female Aedes aegypti mosquito that is transmitting dengue, chikungunya and Zika. Here the technology used is the release of RIDL. RIDL means release of insects carrying dominant lethal genes. So, the Oxytex technology uses genetically modified Aedes aegypti mosquitoes that carry a dominant lethal gene. When male GM mosquitoes mate with the wild female mosquitoes, the lethal gene is passed on to the offspring. The lethal gene in the offspring kills the larva before it reaches adulthood. So, this is about genetically modified mosquitoes. So, the mosquito which was born will be killed because of this lethal gene at the larva stage itself, it will be killed. And when you look at mosquitoes, the other experiment is WOLBACHIA. This is another innovative method to control dengue transmission by introducing life shortening WOLBACHIA. It is a diverse group of intracellular bacteria, and this bacteria strain is injected into both male and female Aedes aegypti mosquitoes. But one important aspect is this WOLBACHIA is maternally inherited. That means the infected females pass on this bacteria to the offspring. So, the generations subsequently will be affected once these mosquitoes are infected with this bacteria called WOLBACHIA. So, it is maternally inherited. This is very, very important point, please do not forget, right friends. So, after this let us look at the schemes for minorities. You can go through these PPTs, I will be very short in explaining them. First one is SEEKHO or KAMAO. This is implemented since 1314. This is quite old scheme. You can go through this. And USTTAD, this is most important. USTTAD stands for upgrading the skills and training in traditional arts crafts for development. And it is basically upgrading the skills and training of minority communities by preservation of traditional ancestral arts and crafts. So, it emphasizes boosting the skill of craftsmen, weavers, artisans. That is the basic purpose of USTTAD. Then MANZIL, this is supposed to benefit the minority youth in the age group of 17 to 35 years. So, you can say it is integration of formal education and skill training. Here school dropouts, at the same time whoever are educating in community institutions like madrasas, they will be provided with integrated input of formal education. So, very important, MANZIL, integrated input of formal education as well as a skill training along with the certification with a view to enabling them to seek better employment in the organized sector. This is about MANZIL. Progress Panchayats, this is the government's aim is to bring minorities onto the mainstream. Here government stated that the program to organize panchayats of minority communities. So, to bring the minority communities into the mainstream, these meetings are being held in places with 30 to 35% of minority population, which includes the officially designated minority concentrated districts. So, here it is the campaign to reach out to the minorities and to create awareness about government's policies and programs. That is one part, and at the same time to remove the misconceptions in the minority communities. Then SADBHAV mandaps, government is planning to set up 1000 SADBHAV mandaps. This is for minority communities. Basically, minorities can organize marriages, their family functions. Similarly, crafts melas can be arranged, and during natural calamities they can act as shelters also. So, states are expected to provide 20% of the expenses under these SADBHAV mandaps. Nayi Udan is to support minority students for the preparation of mains examination who clears prelims, very important. This is to increase their representation in the high end jobs. So, here the objective is to provide financial support to the minority communities clearing preliminary exams conducted by UPSC, PSCs, etc. Right. Then Begat HAZRAT Mahal National Scholarship. This is intended for women candidates. These scholarships are eligible to the girl students who have secured not less than 55% in the 10th standard examination. So, they should get confirmed admission in 11th. So, these scholarships are meant from 11th onwards. Then Mahila Samruddhi Yojana, this is implemented through NMDFC, National Minorities Development and Finance Corporation, where skill development training is imparted to a group of women in women friendly trades. Training is for a period of maximum 6 months. So, this is Mahila Samruddhi Yojana. You can say group of women will be trained in women friendly trades. Please do not forget, we discussed about Begum Hazrat Mahal National Scholarship. This is intended for girls. This Mahila Samruddhi Yojana, this is intended for women. Maulana Azad Education Foundation, this was established on birth centenary celebrations during, and it is registered as society under Societies Act, and president is Honorable Minister of Minority Affairs, and it is fully funded by, these things are very important from examination perspective, fully funded by the Ministry of Minority Affairs. Then please go through this if you want more details. Then Nayi Roshni, this is development of leadership of minority women, development of leadership of minority women, and this scheme is with the help of NGOs, civil societies and government institutions. So, basically various training modules like leadership of women, educational programs, health and hygiene. So, leadership development of minority women is Nai Roshni, please do not forget. PADHO Pardesh, this is applicable to the minority students who want to pursue higher studies abroad, that starts from master's degree, master's, MPhil and PhD subject to various conditions. They will get loan. Here the ministry will reimburse 100% interest component of the education loan availed by the students from the bank, right. So, ministry does not give education loan. Here interest will be reimbursed by the ministry on the education loan taken by the student from the bank, which is a member of IBA or Indian Banks Association. So, please remember this point under PADHO Pardesh, right. This is applicable from Masters, MPhil and PhD. Then HUNAR Hot, this was in fact organized under USTTAD, please do not forget. This is an attempt to provide a platform under one roof to artisans and craft persons from the minority communities. In the long run, government also plans to set up HUNAR hubs in different states. So, this second HUNAR Hut was held with the scheme Craft Our Cuisine Ka Sangam in February in Delhi, right. So, please do not forget about HUNAR Hut, this is under USTTAD. Then MANAS, MANAS is MAULANA AZAD National Academy for Skill. Then it will have tie up with leading training partners in PPP mode. Hamari Dharohar, this is basically to preserve the rich cultural heritage of minority communities in India, and this scheme aims at curating iconic exhibitions, supporting various old documents, research and development, and please do not forget this, the everlasting flame to showcase the civilization and culture of the Parsis under Hamari Dharohar. Right friends, with this today's revision class concludes. Please do join for Q&A within few minutes. Have a nice day. Thank you.